What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today I want to discuss three separate topics. Firstly, we'll do my weekly Trading212 Portfolio update. We'll then look at my trading plans for next week. And thirdly, we're going to discuss another broker that I'm going to start to use from next week on as well, and my reasoning behind it. And with all that being said, let's dive right on into today's video. So we can see on the screen now that my overall portfolio is currently worth €8,278. We are up over 15% or €1,087. We can even see on the left here how it's increased over the last week or so. So at the moment, this is probably the best my portfolio has been doing at the moment. Now, if you were to convert that €8,270 into USD by judging from my phone's rate, that is $9,790 USD and about 7,100 GBP. Over the last week, we can see again on screen, we spent about €160 investing. At the start on the 22nd of March, we put only €10 into High Tide. We then dollar cost average into Tesla and iShares Global Clean Energy by putting €50 into each. And we also put a further €50 into High Tide as a potential growth stock for the long term. So as the main premise of this investing channel is the dollar cost average, at the moment 29 of the 31 stocks are well in the green. So as you can imagine, there isn't a lot of room to dollar cost average at the moment, bar two stocks, mainly Tesla and the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF are the two in the red at the moment. So it kind of did give me questions of should I, let's say, start cutting down some of my profits, as some of these stocks are up about 70 or 80%. So I was thinking maybe shaving down profits, but after thinking long and hard about it, what I'm going to do is to leave everything as is and continue focusing on the one or two companies that might be in the red at any given time, and then maybe reevaluate in another few months again. So let's have a brief look through each of my portfolio pies. Communication services is currently up 28.3%. The two holdings are Facebook and Walt Disney. Walt Disney is currently up nearly 48% in the green, and Facebook is up 12.2%. So I'm quite happy with how both of those are doing at the moment. We then have consumer discretionary, which is one of my largest pies at the moment, with €1,279 invested, and currently we're up only about 1.5%, but again it is up in the green nonetheless. That's kind of only up 1.5% due to Tesla's kind of poor performance as of late. Now, as we can see on screen, Tesla is currently down 10.8% within my position, and we have dollar cost averaging a few times over the last few weeks within this position. However, Tesla was down about 22% in my portfolio only about 2 or 3 weeks ago, so given how it's improved over that span of time, I'm quite happy with how it's doing. And again, it just poses more opportunities to get a better, cheaper price as a long-term investor. We then have McDonald's up 8.9% and Nike is up 0.8% so far. Another one of my largest pies is consumer staples. We have €1,283 at the moment and are up 9%, so I'm happy enough with that. The three positions are Coca-Cola up 11.3%, PepsiCo is up 10.6%, and the third position is P&G up 5.8%. We then have the energy sector pie, which has €516 invested, and we're up 13% at the moment. Three holdings, the two old school energy style stocks in the form of Chevron and ExxonMobil are doing very well at the moment. ExxonMobil is up 70.5%, so that's one of my best gainers at the moment. And then Chevron is up just under the 50% mark, so they're both doing very well. And then we have the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. Just like Tesla isn't doing the best as of late. Again, that's kind of two main reasons that I've covered in prior videos that I link in the description below. But the iShares ETF is down because of Plug Power's kind of fund accounting errors, and as you know, Plug Power is the top holding within that 30 stock ETF. So as you can imagine, if the top company within any ETF suffers, it's going to kind of drag down the rest of the ETF. But long term, I'm very optimistic with this clean energy style ETF. And the second one is kind of the main overall market condition towards clean energy stocks after the hype after Biden became the US president. But again, after every hype, there has to be kind of a more of a correction and a kind of downtrend as such to kind of come back to fair value. So for that reason, that's why the ETF stock is down at the moment. But again, just like Tesla again, it just gives a great opportunity to dollar cost average if you're a long-term investor. Then have my two main ETFs. The first of these being the S&P 500, which is up 18.8%, and then we have the FTSE 100 up 15.7%. That gives us an overall P&L of 18.4% in the green. So again, when I'm discussing the broker later on, the next broker I'm going to use, I will be focusing on these ETFs that we discuss later on as well. One of the best performing stocks or sectors that I currently have is the financial sector. We have €1,152 and are currently up 33.6%. We can see on the right here, all 5 of these financial sector companies are doing quite well. VUSA and MasterCard are up 9.2% and 14.9% respectively. We then have the likes of JP Morgan and Chase up 61.5%, Bank of America up 61.5% also, and then Goldman Sachs up just under 67%. So all of these are doing extremely well in my opinion. We then have just under €900 in the healthcare sector and are currently up 12.9%. 3 holdings here. Johnson & Johnson is up 14.6%, AbbVie is up 24.6%, and the third holding, Pfizer, is currently up 4.2%. Another sector that's doing quite well is the industrial sector, up about 22%, 22.85%. I'm just kind of annoyed that I don't have more invested. We only have €284 within this pie at the moment. Again, it was kind of hard to dollar cost average because the second I bought the 3 of these companies originally, they went straight up in value. So as you can imagine, you can't really dollar cost average if the price continues to go up. So 3M is currently up 20.4%. That's after jumping up about 15 or so percent over the last few weeks alone, so I'm happy with that. Caterpillar is up nearly 50%, and Waste Management is currently up 17.6%. We currently have no holdings in the materials sector at the moment. In prior videos, I was asking you all if you had any suggestions, because I'm currently looking for at least one stock to put into the sector, and people have suggested a few stocks, so I'm currently in the process of looking through those at the moment. We then have my penny stocks in the form of High Tide. We only have the one here at the moment, but we're up 4% and have just under €100 invested at the moment. Within the real estate sector, we only have the one stock at the moment in the form of Realty Income, which is the monthly paying dividend. We're currently up 11%, and again, just like the industrials, I'm kind of kicking myself that we don't have more money invested here at the moment, as this is definitely my smallest pie. So I'm kind of looking out for another stock or two to put into this sector as well, preferably if it's outside the US, as I do want to diversify. So again, if you have any comments or suggestions, please comment below and I'm going to short look into them. And still, my biggest pie is the tech pie, which I'm happy about. We currently have over €1,300 invested and are up 16.7%. We can see the 5 companies on the right are all doing quite well. Microsoft's up 15.5%. We then have Amazon up 0.5%. Apple is currently up 10.6%. We then have Alphabet Class A or Google up 40.2%, and IBM is currently up 17%. And again, just like the material sector, we currently don't have any holdings in utilities, so if you have any suggestions, please comment below. In terms of next week's investing, on this portfolio anyway, it's kind of no surprise that because I dollar cost average, the 2 companies I will be focusing on that are both down about 10% or so is firstly Tesla, and second of all the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF. So for this portfolio, those are the 2 I'm going to invest further into next week. The third topic that I want to address in today's video is the next broker I'm going to use as well, alongside Trading212. So a few days back, in fact 2 days ago, I asked for your suggestions on what broker you would suggest, and we can see that DeGiro has won with 40%, so 92 people have voted, so thanks very much to every single person that has. So DeGiro got 40%, eToro got 14%, Free Trade got 28%, Interactive Brokers got 10%, and 8% got other. So it's a clear winner for DeGiro, and for that reason I'm going to use those as a broker of choice as a second broker alongside Trading212. I have mentioned numerous times that DeGiro was a broker I used prior to Trading212, so I already had an account open, and we have a massive €6 or so within the portfolio at the moment. So I will be using this alongside Trading212. Now I will be making another video probably this evening or tomorrow on the benefits and pros and cons between Trading212 versus DeGiro, as both in my opinion have their ups and downs, probably just like every other broker. But I will be depositing capital in here as well. The one kind of downside about DeGiro is that you can't buy fractional shares, so if you do want to have a smaller account, it's kind of quite hard. For example, if you wanted to buy 1 share of Tesla, etc., it's quite expensive, whereas on Trading212 you can buy fractional shares, which is a lot better for the new investor or a person that mightn't have a lot of capital at their disposal. So that's pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to give 3 updates. Firstly, on my overall Trading212 portfolio, which is currently at about €8,200 or so and up 15%, so I'm quite happy with how that's doing. We then had a look at the second point in terms of what my investing plan was next week. So I'm going to be probably focusing primarily on Tesla and the iShares Global Clean Energy ETF in terms of dollar cost averaging. And thirdly, we discussed my plans to start using DeGiro. Now I'm going to go into more detail in the next video on that, so I don't really want to go into too much detail on that today. So those were the 3 key points that I wanted to discuss today. So if you found it any way helpful or interesting, it'd be much appreciated, as always, if you're new around here, if you consider subscribing to the channel. And as always as well, it'd be much helpful and appreciated if you could smash that like button. But most importantly, if you have any questions, comments, queries or suggestions, please don't hesitate to comment below and I'll be sure to get back to you as quick as I can. Thanks very much, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's video.